here's the video we've all been waiting for, my thoughts and opinions and my relationship with Taylor Swift's music that literally nobody asked for.
It's her!
Hey guys, so basically I feel like I've been writing a research paper on Taylor Swift for close to 4 months now, and I am exhausted. Let's just get into it. Let's just see what I have to say. I know nobody cares. I know literally nobody cares, but I have a lot of things to say. So as you can see by the title, I don't necessarily have the best relationship with Taylor Swift. I used to love her so much. I used to be obsessed with her music. Something happened, and we're gonna talk about it. So if you Swifties want to come crucify me, please do. I want to hear it. I want to see what you have to say, because you won't agree with me, and that's okay. This is just my opinion, what I see, what I've seen, the patterns that I've seen all about Taylor Swift and her songwriting. More with her lyrics. I have always had a big thing about lyrics. Song lyrics have always been really important to me. My opinion is very valuable when it comes to song lyrics, because we all know that I've dabbled in the writing of the songs of the lyrics in my life, as we see from my past. You write the bomb threat, then can't go through with it. Wrote that on the day the skull had a bomb threat. You throw the match, watch the fire catch, but it won't get to me. You're dumber than I thought, but you're as dumb as you look. Post office parking lot, cut to the heart. So growing up writing these songs that I'm like so passionate about because they're so good. It was magic. A needed curtain call. Appreciated. A footprint on the wall. I always admired really good lyricists like Taylor Swift. Country music. I hate country music with a passion. Sometimes I can listen to it, depends on what it is, but most of the time it's horrible because of the song lyrics. Honky tonk badonky donk. She thinks my tractor's sexy. My 4-year-old said a 4-letter word. It started with an S and I was concerned. That was my introduction to the country music scene. A high maintenance woman don't want no maintenance man. Excuse me? I don't know. So that was my introduction to country music as a whole. But all of a sudden, this 16-year-old blonde chick says, he said the way my blue eyes shine, set those Georgia stars to shame that night. I said that's a lie. Boom. Game changer. Country music is good now. But there's Carrie Underwood, and then all of a sudden Taylor Swift, and I'm like, okay, I can get into this. I would sit there and watch country music videos every single Saturday morning, switching between GMC and CMT, country music countdowns, which that's really hard to believe. If anyone knows me right now, that's not a thing that I do. That's not a thing that I will ever do again. And I'll admit that not every song on this album is written so beautifully, as, you know, Teardrops on My Guitar and Tim McGraw. It is quite a nostalgic masterpiece in my mind. I will say that. Cold as You, then you come away with a great little story of the mess of a dreamer with the nerve to adore you. So she was just starting out. She wrote 4 of the songs by herself on her debut album, Taylor Swift. The other 11 were co-written. Then Fearless came out. Fearless Platinum Edition. Oh, so good. She wrote 9 songs and co-wrote the other 9. I thought she was one of the most amazing songwriters, lyricists I had ever seen. Like, if you can make lyrics sound good on their own without the music, I think you are a genius. You're naive and simply blind. I'm giving up on you this time. And she was doing it. Like The Other Side of the Door. Everyone talks about Red and All Too Well and the bridge, but I like to say that The Other Side of the Door bridge walks so the All Too Well bridge could run. So look that one up. With your face and the beautiful eyes and the conversation with the little white lies and the faded picture of a beautiful night, you carried me from your car up the stairs and I broke down crying, was you worth this mess? After everything in that little black dress, after everything I must confess I need you. Then Speak Now comes out, and she writes every single song on this album by herself, except for one bonus track. But every single song on an album. I'm watching this correlation. She wrote 4 songs on her debut album. She wrote half the songs on her second album. Speak Now, she wrote practically every single song. And I'm like, wow, this chick is talented. This is amazing. Like, just beginning with Sparks Fly, The Way You Move is like a full-on rainstorm, and I'm a house of cards. We see all of that. We see all of it happening. It's worded so beautifully. Enchanted, walls of insincerity, shifting eyes and vacancy vanished when I saw your face. The playful conversation starts, counter all your quick remarks. like passing notes in secrecy. Okay, what are you doing? Like, she's just such a storyteller. She's always been amazing at writing a story in her songs. Like Mary's song in Taylor Swift, 15. I've just always admired how she can just write a story, but using lyrics, and that's it. Like writing a movie, but with song. Then we get to Red. Arguably everybody's favorite album of hers ever, where she has songs like State of Grace that says, so you were never a saint and I loved in shades of wrong. We learned to live with the pain. Mosaic broken hearts. Mosaic broken hearts. That's all I gotta say. Mosaic broken hearts. When I first heard that lyric, I think I died. Red, the whole song. Treacherous, the whole song. I can't decide if it's a choice, getting swept away. Still to this day, I agree with that lyric. I don't know. But it's such a good lyric. It's such a good thought. And then, of course, All Too Well, the whole song. We all know. And you call me up again just to break me like a promise. So casually cruel in the name of being honest. I'm a crumbled up piece of paper lying here because I remember it all too well. I think I've seen on TikTok, everyone says that is the best written Taylor Swift song. On Red, she wrote 11 of the songs, co-wrote 8 of the songs. But it's kind of a big jump from writing every single song on an album basically to writing just a little bit more than half. I think it's the best album. And this was the album right before she completely transitioned into pop, as we call her today. But as Red is my absolute favorite album with probably the best lyrics, it also brought us some of the worst lyrics too. Like in Stay, 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 that's when you came in wearing a football helmet and said, okay, let's talk. And I cringe at that lyric every single time, never fails.
A reflection's not a shadow, but a shadow's a reflection. The night sky fades as I watch the walls cave in.
And what's interesting is that was a song written by only Taylor Swift. But I let it slide because it's Red and Red is so good. But then we get to 1989. And I don't know this chick. I don't know her. And I'm mad. I'm mad at this album. I'm mad that it exists. Now, all of a sudden, she wrote every single song, basically, on Speak Now. She wrote more than half the songs on Red. She wrote 1 out of 16 songs on 1989. 1. By herself. I'm not saying that every lyric from this album is bad. I'm saying it's focused more on music production than lyrics. And teach their own, okay, but that's not the Taylor Swift that I knew. That I knew was so creative and so good at writing a story and writing lyrics that so beautifully flowed together. Now here we are, getting lyrics like, he's so tall and handsome as hell. He's so bad, but he does it so well. Like, that is one of the most disappointing lyrics I've ever seen from her. And then the entire Shake It Off song. My ex-man brought his new girlfriend. She's like, oh my god, but I'm just gonna shake it to the fella over there with the hella good hair. Won't you come on over, baby? We could shake, shake, shake. Excuse me? It's not good. It's not good.
Broken promises, I lie here crying, while deep inside my soul is dying.
And I will say it does have, in Bad Blood, Band-Aids don't fix bullet holes. I like that. And then Clean. Clean is the only song that I care about on the entire 1989 album. The only song that matters to me is Clean. I think Clean brought me back to Red and back to that older stuff. It felt right. That's the Taylor I know. Not these weird, like, oh, I don't even know. It's an embarrassment. I think 1989 was her biggest downfall. From my fans' standpoint, it's just, welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you. Okay, no. Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? It's just a bunch of repeating, and it's annoying. It's just really freaking annoying. And I hate it. I hate it. That's all there's to it. I hate it. Then we get to Reputation, and it's not bad. I enjoyed Reputation for the most part. It's not the old Taylor Swift, and I get we all grow, we all change our styles, but 1989 was not it. Reputation, it's a pretty good album. I'll say that. It's not, I don't like everything on it, but a lot of things I do like. But it also has some of the worst lyrics she's ever written. Like in Call It What You Want. I want to wear his initials on a chain round my neck, chain round my neck. Not because he owns me, because he really knows me. No. Chain round my neck, chain round my neck. It's annoying. It is a fun album for the most part. Lyrically, it's more of a disappointment. than anything, but not as much as 1989 was. Also on Reputation, she wrote 0 of the songs by herself. I don't know if this correlation is fair to make, but it's just an observation. Just an observation that I've seen. Then Lover came along, and I'm a fan of Lover, not the song. Hate the song. Love the album for the most part. Cruel Summer, the entire song, written so beautifully. Cornelia Street, whole song, written so beautifully. It was one of those storytelling songs that I had been wanting so badly to get back from her. Cornelia Street, so good. But then there's still these things like Lover, the whole song. Hate it. My lover. We could keep the Christmas lights up till January. And then in Archer, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put me together again. I just think she's Humpty Dumpty now. Why would she take that nursery rhyme and sing it about herself? Now she's just an egg on a brick wall. Like, what are you doing? How do you want me to picture? I don't like what I'm seeing here. This is just weird. But on Lover, she did write 3 songs by herself, and then 15 she co-wrote. Those 3 are Lover, Cornelia Street, and Daylight. I hate Lover, so that ruins that argument of the songs she wrote are better, but Cornelia Street is one of my absolute favorites, and she wrote that by herself, and Daylight, that's a good one. I think even London Boy, it's so stupid, but it's fun. There's so many references to like British culture, if you may, I don't know. But I think it's fun. But I do like the album Lover. Lyrically was way better than 1989 and Reputation. Lover's lyrics were better as a whole than 1989 and Reputation, so she was getting up there for me, so that was good. And then, newly released this year, Folklore. I am a Folklore fan. I think lyrically, Folklore is her best written album since Red. Like, I could honestly go down the list of every single song and just say how amazing they were. One of my favorite songs. I know I read about how a lot of these songs are about the people whose house she bought in Rhode Island and her perspective of what their love story might have been, could have been. I think that's very interesting to look at. I like that it's very different. I will say, to listen to this album, I have to be in like a sad kind of mood, but it's still so good. My Tears Ricochet, I'm not a big Exile fan. 7, August, Illicit Affairs, Invisible String, Betty tells a story, like 15 kind of. I will say that Folklore gave me back some life, some Taylor Swift life that I'd been missing for a while, lyrically. Though she did only write 1 song entirely by herself, which is coincidentally My Tears Ricochet, which was my favorite song before I even knew that she wrote it by herself. I know I've crapped all over 1989 and everything, but I do want to go back and look. I want to be a little realistic with potentially why I see certain albums the way I do. I could be biased in certain ways because of certain situations, certain reasons, whatever I was going through at the time. So let me look back. In 2006 was whenever Taylor Swift's debut album, Taylor Swift, came out. She was 16, I was 10 in 5th grade. In my life, I just began my country music phase. Then in 2008, Fearless came out. She was 18, I was 12. I was in 7th grade. I just started junior high. So I was in that time where it was like, oh, boys exist. She writes about boys. I love her. I love this. This is so good. And then 2010, Speak Now comes out. She's 20, I'm 14. I'm in 9th grade. My freshman year, which is my last year of junior high, we didn't go to high school until 10th grade. And so I'm still in the same, yeah, boys are great. I love this music. It's so good. It's about boys. Then in 2012, Red came out. She was 22. We all know that. She was feeling 22. And that is a fun song to play on our 22nd birthdays, I will say that. I was 16 in 11th grade, my junior year of high school. So nothing's really changed that entire time in my life. And then 2014, 1989 comes out. She was 24, I was 18. I definitely hate that music a lot. But I also think what adds to it is my first listen through of 1989 was on my way back to college the morning after my first boyfriend broke up with me. So it has some negative connotations for sure. Like bad memories. Listening to this album was just bad memories. I don't know. So that could just amplify why I hate this album so much. But it definitely doesn't help. It definitely hurts 1989 and my thoughts of it, but it's not the end all be all. I think that album just sucks. I think it's just terrible. So, then in 2017, Reputation, she was 27, I was 21, a senior in college. We're both living our bad A lives, I guess. I don't freaking know. Then in 2019, Lover, she was 29, I was almost 23. And then in 2020, Folklore, she was 30, I was almost 24. So I think it's very interesting to also look at where she was in her life versus where I was in my life and why I could potentially have had certain opinions whenever certain songs, certain music came out. Because although I have very strong opinions, I am realistic in the fact that there are reasons I have these strong opinions at the certain times that this certain music came out. I think all in all, to me, to my soul, to my little lyric writer's soul, I think Taylor Swift became a sellout whenever she became pop. I'm not saying it's all because she didn't write as many songs by just herself, but I think that's fun to look at. I don't know. But I think whenever she went pop, lyrics didn't matter anymore. At least for a little bit. She's came back too, and I very much enjoyed that. So I have a love-hate-love relationship. So that's Taylor Swift, the good, the bad, and the Reputation album that was kind of just okay, but pretty good. For the most part. You guys, you're entitled to your own wrong opinions on Taylor Swift and her music, and I'm entitled to my correct opinion. So comment down below what you think of my opinions and what your opinions are, even though I disagree. And I know that if someone even just wrote like a few lines or a few words, she gave them credit for it. I'm aware of that. But still, I just think it's fun to look at. I think it's fun to look at. I don't know. It's interesting. And I am ready to get rid of these notes because I think I'm gonna die. This is literally Taylor Swift. All of this. Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift. And thank you for that. It's over. I really hope I said everything I meant to, everything I needed to. Now you can see why this took me so long to do, because I had so much research to do, so many thoughts to gather, and so many thoughts on how in the world am I going to put this all together, what order am I going to do any of this in. I don't know. Hopefully it comes out together just fine. If not, I apologize. I meant to get this video out a long time ago, like around when Folklore had come out. But that didn't happen because I've been so like Taylor Swift overload every single time I try to work on this video. It's been a lot. So I'm glad we could do this though. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, then okay. Yep, me too. I agree. Please let me know if you enjoyed this type of video and hearing my opinions that nobody cares about. Yeah, but I will definitely be back with more. And you're just a yawning little girl. I know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. So see you when I see you. So I'll see you then. Thank you and goodbye.
Wow, check out that angle globe.
Remember the stars, take it all in. There's more to life than persecution. I'll be lost in time, the night is a dream. Some things are like the battle scene. Hold on to the years, there's an outside face that takes all the gray and makes a sanctuary. There's a fading light, it's ending the week. It's all just watered down poetry. Okay.